This is Theremin 30. 30 minutes of theremin music, news, events, and interviews with a new episode about every 30 days. Now, here's your host, Rick Reed.
Hey there, welcome to the July 2025 edition of the Theremin 30 podcast. I hope you're having a great summer, or winter if you live south of the equator. My summer has been rather eventful so far. I recently fell and fractured one of my fingers. The good news is that it happened to be on my volume hand and not my pitch hand, so I can still play the theremin about as well as I did before the accident. But that reminds me of the old joke where a guy asks his doctor, "Will I be able to play the violin after the surgery?" And the doctor replies, "Yes, of course." And the guy says, "Great, I never could play it before." Well, I can't hear you, but I suspect you probably aren't laughing at that joke right now, which is fine, because the next half hour will be no laughing matter. I've got some serious new theremin music from Spain, some new-to-me music from Russia, plus some music from Mexico that you may have missed. And my special guests are Cecilia and Emilee Lord. They'll be performing an original theater piece at Edinburgh Fringe in August, and it involves a Moog theremin. Let's start the show now with a track from Paolo Pasquale off of his recent 4-song EP, Lucis. Then I'll play a rock and anti-war anthem from Selenosphere from their 2024 album, Moscow Songs. I'll tell you more about both artists on the other side. We kicked off the show with a song called Cuadrante, or Quadrant in English, by Paulo Pascual from Vigo, Spain. It's from an EP he released in April of this year called Lucis, and it's available as a free download on Bandcamp. Paulo is also part of an ensemble called Modulador de Ondas. I've featured his music on the show a few times, and I interviewed him in the August 2020 episode of Theremin 30. After that, I played In Front of Enemies by Selenosphere. That's from the Moscow Songs album they recorded in Russia and released last November. Moscow Songs features vocalist Julia Nem and multi-instrumentalist Frankie, who has since relocated to Portugal, where he continues to create music under the Selenosphere name as a solo artist. To learn more about Paulo Pascual and Selenosphere, and to get their albums, click on their names in this month's show notes at theremin30.com. Frankie plays a very cool see-through subscope theremin, so be sure to check out the photos on his website. It's time now for the Theremin 30 calendar of theremin events. On July 5th, Stephen Ham performs with his Space Family Band in the Vancouver, British Columbia area. Andrew Levine will perform as part of Duo Luftstrom in central Germany on July 9th. Ernesto Mendoza will lead a theremin workshop for beginners and intermediate players on July 12th in Mexico City. Masami Takeuchi will teach a theremin workshop in Hamamatsu City, Japan on July 18th. And on July 26th in the Philadelphia area, the Divine Hand Ensemble will host an album release party. For details about these events and more, visit the calendar page at theremin30.com. And speaking of Ernesto Mendoza, he's been very busy lately. He just published a Spanish-language instruction manual for beginning theremin players called Instrumento Intocable, if I pronounced it correctly. In English, that's Untouchable Instrument. It includes historical information, the basics of how a theremin works, plus practice exercises and links to exclusive instructional videos. For information about how you can get your own copy of Ernesto's manual, look for the link in this month's show notes at theremin30.com. Now let's listen to some of Ernesto's music. This track is from his Syntheremin album, and it's called Vimana, which is a Sanskrit word meaning flying chariot. It's from the ancient mythology of India. I kind of think of it as a compact model flying saucer. That was Vimana by Ernesto Mendoza. To learn more about him, click on his name in this month's show notes, or listen to my interview with him in the February 2024 episode of the Theremin 30 podcast. Edinburgh Fringe is a huge live theatre festival held in Scotland every summer, and as the name suggests, the performances lean toward the unconventional. This year, 2 artists from Brooklyn, New York will take their interactive play to the fest, and I recently visited with musician-playwright Cecilia and dancer-visual artist Emilee to find out about their theremin-infused show called Timestamp. Karen and Emilee, welcome to the Theremin 30 podcast.
Hi. Hello.
Let's start with Karen on the big picture thing here. What is Edinburgh Fringe?
It is, I would say, the biggest global fringe festival. People come from all over the world. Almost every country is represented. It takes over the entire city for 3 weeks. There is works of dance, theater, comedy, music, stand-up, and you can see a show every hour on the hour almost. It's really one-of-a-kind experience.
Emilee, what makes it fringe? What does that word have to do with it?
I think it's on the fringe, on the edges. So there's big names coming in to perform, but there's also kind of everybody throwing their work into the ring, I think, and asking to be seen in this space. It's very accessible in that way.
And also, does fringe have to do with it being experimental in nature?
Yeah, I think it does. I think fringe allows it to take risks with what is shown there, where it's, not maybe in the commercial theater, but unconventional performances.
The two of you have a show you're doing at the Fringe this year called Timestamp. Tell me how that got started.
What is the origin? Do you remember? We were just having conversations about working together in the aspects of who we are as performers and makers, and started working into thinking about improvising something together, devising a piece together, that it sort of grew by virtue of us working on it. Then the theme emerged because we were talking about who are we right now? What do we have to say from our personal self, and how do we put that on stage together?
Yeah, and I think also we were both in conversation and in agreement, and kind of clicked right away, that we wanted to try a different form of theater, that we wanted to see just where it went if we devised something. So that was really the origins of it.
Karen, how would you give your elevator speech about what Timestamp is?
Well, Timestamp is it's a dialogue between movement and sound, the show. We use co-authored text, me and Emilee. We break down expectations between ourselves, between society, and we actually ask the audience to consider their own expectations. And we incorporate that into the show. So every night's performance is actually unique in that we don't know how the audience is what they're going to give us as far as their own expectations that they've either been challenged with or if they've overcome them.
It is scripted, so we've written our dialogue and our monologue for the piece. The thing that is emergent each night is how we interact, how the theremin and my dance interacts, and how we take the thoughts and feelings the audience chooses to give us and incorporate it. So there's a rote structure that we improvise sections into.
How does the audience participate in the improvised portion of the performance?
So at the beginning of the show, they're given little forms to fill out that have a question about what expectations placed on them from society or from themselves. Do they want to divest themselves up? Do they want to move past? And so they fill out this little form and hand it to us. And then in several sections, as kind of a ritual, Karen reads through these and I interpret them. And then we place them in a bowl of water and kind of work, I think, to ritualize the release of those things. Because we're really talking about moving away from the scripted approach to life. Like what you need to do by what age and how you need to be or what you need to have. So all of it is kind of a release of those ideas. Their words become a section of the script each night.
I imagine that leads to some surprising performances where Afterwards, you're going, what just happened?
Yeah, there's some moments where it feels funny, like we're working through some things, and in rehearsal the other day, it got really goofy and like mime-like, just because we were sort of playing with what else the body can do and sound can do to express and unpack this idea of what people are trying to resist in societal expectations or gender role expectations and those kinds of things. So it feels really serious, and it feels really touching and tearful sometimes, and then it also falls apart and ends in laughter in some places as well.
You're playing a Moog Theremin.
Yes.
How did that instrument become part of the show?
I wanted to really use it in this show from the get-go. It's such a unique instrument, as you know, and I've been in shows before with it, and I really felt like it lends itself with that kind of ethereal sound that it has to the idea of the expectations and the untangible, or are they things that we grasp. It has that feel, and the way Emilee's dance vocabulary moves, it mimics the way that I move, or rather, I mimic the way that she moves when I'm playing. So it really lent itself to this type of work very easily and seamlessly.
Emilee, in your dance choreography, are you communicating with the music or maybe giving Karen clues about what she should do next?
Well, yes and no. We've been doing this together long enough that maybe in the beginning we were sort of like, okay, I'm going to follow you for a minute and then you follow me and let's see what emerges. But that was the building process. And now I feel like we're really settled into each other's phrasing and ideas around it. One of the things that was interesting when putting together some of the set choreography was to look at how Karen has to move to play the instrument, which is a very specific physicality. So then a lot of my choreography became arms raised and gestures in the air in front of me and around my head. So it informed my movement and kind of forced me to create phrasing in a different way than I had before because of the atmospheric nature of the instrument.
And Emilee, have you ever had an opportunity to play Karen's Theremin?
I haven't, actually. That's a good question. One of the things that was fun to discover when we were first building the piece is that if I dance really close to her, it sort of disrupts something. So I was playing at one point with how my proximity could affect her sound, and then we moved quickly away from that because I had other things I wanted to discover. Karen,
the Theremin's got some great and some weird and wonderful presets. Are you using some of the presets for the show?
Yeah, I have my go-tos that I kind of use for any kind of work that I do with the theremin. But yeah, I'm using, I would say 4 that I'm definitely using. Every time I rehearse, I think I try a different one. Some of them, are, as you said, a little out there and not really the right feel. But I also use a pedal, and that really adds to, that's my secret sauce, that really adds to the, the atmosphere.
Can you reveal the secret of which pedal it is?
No.
You just have to go to this show and find out.
Yeah, well, even then, I do keep it behind the speaker so that it's not really seen. I would just give the hint for those people who are pedal people that it's a certain color. The name of the pedal is based off of the color. That's a big clue.
I'll have to do some research. Is there any pre-recorded audio in addition to your live performance?
There's not for the music. There is pre-recorded audio of women speaking, sound bites from them, but not from me. It's all live and on the spot. So, with that, anything can happen.
One practical question that comes up from theremin players that I've known, traveling with a theremin. Have you run into any issues or thought about how you're going to get your theremin through security at the airport and all that?
Oh, I've done this. I'm a pro at this. So my advice to the other theremin players are, obviously you'd put it in your carry-on bag because I would never trust them to throw that on a belt and throw it into the base of a plane. I wrap it thoroughly and put it on top because you do have to unwrap it and put it through the x-ray machine, and I tell them in advance, I have a synthesizer instrument. It's very fragile. I will take it out. I will, lay it down. And their response is, what type of instrument? I just kind of keep it simple too. It's a synthesizer.
Thank you so much for taking the time to tell us about your show, Timestamp. And I forgot to ask, what does the title mean?
Timestamp are moments in life that are so significant that they're stamped in your psyche and your being, and that's, I think, where the title stems from.
Timestamp will be on stage from August 1st through the 23rd at Dovecot Studios in Edinburgh, Scotland. For ticket information, look for the link in this month's show notes. To finish this half hour, here's a little taste of Timestamp. This track is called 4 Pillars.
Consider. We exist for this brief moment. Exercise consciousness. Explore expectations. Embrace light and dark. Extricate judgment.
Thanks so much to Paulo Pascual, Selena Sphere, and Ernesto Mendoza for allowing me to play their music. And a special thanks to my guests, Karen Cecilia and Emilee Lord of Timestamp. Please support these artists by purchasing their music and attending their shows. If you'd like to support this show, visit theremin30.com and look for the tip jar, or shop in the merch store and the pro shop. Until next time, I'm your host, Rick Reed, and I'll see you again somewhere in the ether.
You've been listening to the Theremin 30 podcast. Visit Theremin 30 on the web at theremin30.com.